Hello everyone, Travis Gafford here with GameSpot Esports, and I'm joined by Scarra from Team Dignita, who are here on day 3 of the World Playoffs for Season 2 League of Legends Championships. Scarra, I know you guys went out, but have you been enjoying the rest of the event?
To be honest, I've kind of lost sleep over how we got out, so it was pretty bad. Like today, the last couple of days I haven't gotten a really restful sleep, and I'm sick today, so it's kind of real bad.
Well, let's talk about why you went out. What happened in those games to sort of push you guys out of the group stage?
I think the end of the thing is we just got scrapped. We got outplayed. Oh my, it was really bad. I know what happened, but putting it into words is a little bit hard for me because I feel like it shouldn't have happened. I get a lot of these people who come up to me or make comments about it and just well, it looked like Dignitas didn't practice as much. And I don't even want to say this. We ended up playing for a month. We literally scrimmed as much as humanly possible. The only days we had rest days were when we set up a scrim and teams would bail on us, because that happens a lot in North America. So the first 2 weeks, we had a strat that was the first 2 weeks of the month following PAX. We had a strat devoted entirely to Rengar. We played Rengar top, Rengar jungle, right when M5 picked him up, and we were like, okay, this is extremely strong. Even after the nerfs, we could do this. We ended up having all these comps around how Rengar would initiate, how Rengar would gank, and it didn't work out for us. And we were like, oh God, why would you do this, right? Because we were originally told he would be at the event.
They banned him.
Yeah, and then they banned him just randomly. They were just we're gonna nerf him again in the next patch. And we're like, okay, that's fine. Because his gank pattern is the same. It's exactly identical. It's he loses damage, he loses clear speed, loses tankiness, which is fine. That makes it more balanced. But then they just removed him, and we were like, oh my God. So then 2 weeks after that is when TSM was let's get serious, Dignitas. We want to perform well at Worlds, and we scrimmed them for almost 2 weeks straight. And the only time, we literally went from 2 to 10, every day, as much as humanly possible for this. And we thought we had an excellent chance at getting out of group stage. We really thought we did. And TSM thought we were definitely going to get out of group stage. And they ended up betting $450 on us to get out of the group stage with a lot of different people. And it didn't work. I knew going in that CLG EU game was the most important game of the day. If we beat CLG EU, we'd probably advance out of the group. It's no question. So we prepared primarily the 2 weeks with strategies looking to beat CLG EU. We knew they would early pick Maokai. We know how they early ward. We know where they position, where they send lanes and stuff like that. And it just so happens that we ended up getting outplayed, and there's other things associated with that I can't speak of. But we lost the game, and mentally I feel mentally our team wasn't there after that. We ended up losing to Saigon Jugglers, which isn't we had scouted them before. People Double Lift I saw in the interview was they probably underestimated them. They don't know what to do. And the thing is we scouted them. We knew what they would do. We knew it. No one picks Karthus into Katarina. That's suicide. You'll die, 100%. And so we knew he would lane swap. We knew we would send Shen bottom. We knew how we wanted to start the game off. We started and we got blue to red. And we won the level 1. Conceptually, I feel we outplayed the level 1. They started our red, and conceptually, I think we split even. I feel in this game, there's 2 types of outplaying. You outplay them conceptually, and you outplay them mechanically. Sometimes both happens. Sometimes only one happens. And by conceptually, I mean your strategy is just more sound, or your execution of your strategy is better. So you have this situation where I feel we conceptually outplayed the level 1, and then or split even at worst, because Malphite got our red, started our red. But for some reason, our team wasn't in the zone. I don't know what happened, but Shen died bottom to a gank that has a 15. If you died to a level 2 Malphite gank, something wrong happened, and I feel it was just mental toughness. That's what we really, 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 really lacked. And I didn't realize till this tournament that we technically still have I don't know, not as experienced of a team that I thought, because like you gain mental toughness as you progress through tournaments. So while me and Cutie were okay, like some of the newer members of the team were like really shaken by what happened the first game, and we performed just like the worst. Like we got outplayed by every team here, soundly. I feel like we got closer to the sword game, it was easier for us to recover from what happened from the first game. But like you can't go in the Worlds and expect to win if you don't have the mental toughness to be able to take a loss in group stage. Like that's just like, that's not an excuse. Like, and the worst thing about this is like, I don't care. Like I'll go and read about this and I'll just be like, there'll be like all of these negative comments. It'll be like, oh my God, Dignita sucks. They're horrible. They're ass. Like they got their asses beat. And I just be like, oh, like they're the worst team in the world. Like I could take 4 random players and beat the crap out of them. Like I read that and I'm like, that's all right. Like I can't even be like, they're wrong. And the worst thing is it's not those people for me. It's the people that like are like, don't worry, Dignitas, you did a good job. Like you may not have won today, but like I'm still a fan. It's those people that like it hurts the most for me, because those are people I'm letting down. Like those are the people I care about the most. And so it was just such a brutal loss. Series of events. Like I don't even know what to say. Like I don't think sorry is like an effective enough word for me to say right now to like convey how disgusted I feel. Like I haven't had a good night's sleep since we lost. I haven't like I have trouble eating, and so like it's so bad. Like I just feel like in the end, like we outplayed. We didn't have the mental toughness to be able to beat teams, and we lost based on the fact that CLGU executed a strategy that we didn't think would be possible. In fact, we kind of knew it wouldn't be. We didn't think it would be possible. And as soon as they executed that, not only was it really, really obvious that teams can emulate that, like really, really easily. Like everyone in the group stage, our group stage, watched that game. That means we had to go to like another strategy that we had in mind. We executed the second strategy poorly against Saigon Jokers. Just mechanically, there were a lot of errors around the map. To like the bottom lane, to the invade, to the gank middle that we should have won, like all this mechanical failure that I feel like we just like got dunked on by Saigon Jokers. And in the third game, we could have won that game, like even with Crumbs so far behind. But we made a misplay at Baron because they threw the game. Like we had the Baron, and then we killed it as Lee Sin got in. And like just a little bit of mechanical error made it so that we didn't win the fight, because I think our AD carry was a little bit too close to the team. He just got like crushed. In the end, like I guess, I don't know, we performed badly, and that's all there is I can say about that.
Well, Season 3 is coming up. You guys are in Season 3 for sure. You know, I know that you guys took this really hard, but I'm hoping that going forward you guys will be able to, you know, advance and do well in Season 3. I know that the North American scene has had sort of a hard time here, so you think that you guys will, maybe this will help the North American scene? I hate that wake-up call term, right? But do you think that maybe the teams here will take that into account for Season 3? I
mean, obviously the teams all hate losing. Like, I do not know a team that hates losing more than TSM. Or even SteelG, they hate to lose. Like, you go up after these teams, every team here hates to lose. After SK lost, I went up to the players' lounge. I was like, it sucks, man. Like, I'm sorry. He's like, you could tell the atmosphere in the room was depressing with him and his whole team. He left, and on his way out, like, he was like, good luck, Scarra. Like we sucked, but like, good luck. And like, I have to give him like so much respect for that. Like, that was, like, he couldn't compose himself for interviews that day or the day after, but he still was able to say that to me as soon, like the game after he lost. I think there's a very, very bad infrastructure on American, or like NA, like the NA scene so far. So the NA scene, there's less serious top teams in the top 8 than there are in like Asia or in Europe. And I feel like that's a serious problem if you're a top team and you're trying to practice. Like for this event, we couldn't scrim CLG Prime and we couldn't scrim CLGU. So we were stuck with what? Curse, who streams all their scrims, so we can't use them. We're stuck with TSM, which we love. Like, we would play TSM every day. But sometimes like they had to do stuff. And sometimes like, and they couldn't scrim. Like they were flying out one day. We had to find like a day for us, like a practice partner, and we could not find one. Even scheduling ahead of time, they flaked out on us last minute. And we were just like, well, what can we do about this? Like, consistency-wise, I feel like scrims in Korea, when we were in Korea, we literally was like, we didn't even have to schedule. We woke up that day, and we're like, can we play? We just ask every team, and like, can we play? And then like, there are top 4 teams in Korea, and like, every region, I would say the top 4 teams are very, very close in skill level, regardless of the performance of this tournament. I know that sounds like really, really bad, but regardless of the performance of this tournament, like the top 4 teams are at least like comparable on this same skill spectrum, I would say. But in NA, after like you get rid of Orb, like Legion, MME, and Curse, and the 3 teams here, you're stuck with teams that aren't, like, it's not effective for us to scrim against them because they're just not, I hate to say this, like they're just not mechanically good enough or like cohesive enough to give us top teams a challenge. And so I mean, we were in Korea, we were scrimming amateur teams. They were like, they're legitimately, we could have practiced strategies against them, but because they're mechanically and strategically like decent enough for us to be able to do that. And so Korea has this infrastructure where there's an amateur league into like a pro league, and they've had it way before in NA or Europe, and it's really obvious to tell that the average skill level of Asian nations is very, very high because the average skill level of Asian teams is very high. And in North America, there isn't that. Like, amateur teams don't have a place to practice, so we have amateur teams that want to scrim against top teams, but top teams won't scrim against them because it's not worth it for them. We have teams that won't scrim like every day because they're doing stuff like jobs, school, and I don't want to demote these, like say bad things about these teams. They're fine, but I'm just saying like generally, like when we were preparing for Worlds, we wanted to scrim like Orb. We couldn't scrim the 2 CLGs because they're like living in the same place. Orb, and we want to scrim MME. We tried to set up a 3-day scrim schedule with MME, and it didn't work out. Like they had like school, and we couldn't do it. And then we tried to set up like a schedule with Orb, but like that didn't work out either. So like if TSM hadn't scrimmed us, like we would be like, there would be nothing for us, no good partners for us to scrim against. And it was just like that idea, the entire time I was like, if TSM isn't here, we would be screwed. And like even though we performed badly, like I feel like, I don't know, this is such a cop-out. Like I feel like we performed, we just choked on the biggest stage. But I feel like our actual like skill level isn't that far off from TSM. And from like they're definitely the better team. But I feel like, especially like in practice, like they saw that we had like extremely, I don't know, like maybe I'm overrating my team, but I thought that we did extremely well in terms of scrim practice and in terms of making TSM change. Like I feel like they've gotten better since we scrimmed them. It's not just us that's gotten better. Yeah.
All right, well, hey, thank you so much for the very informative interview, Scarra. I know it was hard on you, but again, I look forward to seeing you guys in Season 3. Thanks again for the interview. For everyone, this is Travis Gafford.